Okay, and we're back.
I'm secondary character.
And I'm Axelsims. And this is Prisoner of War by Princess of Queens on DeviantArt. Congratulations! Your fanfic has been picked by secondary character to be read by me. Be honored. Okay, enough screwing around. Let's actually read it.
Alright.
Alright.
I guess you should tell them what kind of fanfic it is.
Well, I don't actually know. I'm reading this blind. Transformers Prime. It's rated PG, so no sex scenes, I guess. Well, it says rating PG. Characters. The main characters are Bumblebee, Optimus Prime, Megatron, Knockout, and Breakdown. Pairings: Bumblebee X Knockout, B X Optimus, and Knockout X Breakdown. Warnings: none. Talking. Yeah, whatever. Okay. So whenever Bumblebee talks, his words are
in parentheses.
in parentheses. So I don't know how you want to do this. Whatever. We'll just go with it. Please no, Bumblebee beeped. It was loud enough for everyone to hear. Everyone on the battlefield seemed to stop fighting and look at the yellow Autobot. But Bee's stare never left Optimus, who was pinned down to the ground by Soundwave, Knockout, and two other soldiers, while Megatron held a gun to Optimus's head. Optimus' eyes widened at his scout's plea. Megatron raised his optic and looked down at the young bot. Soundwave and Knockout still held Optimus down and watched their lord carefully. Megatron turned his body towards Bee, but kept the gun pointed at Optimus. All of the Autobots and Decepticons watched as Bee took 2 steps towards Optimus and Megatron. He gulped and his eyes shifted to Megatron. Please don't, Bee said again. Well, actually, no. Gotta get into character. Please don't, Bee said again, to make sure they heard him. Optimus looked at Bee with worry and fear in his eyes. Optimus fought to get free, but Knockout called more soldiers over to help hold him. Bumblebee, Optimus said, causing Megatron to look at Optimus, then back at Bee, but Bee's eyes never left Megatron. You are quite brave, little one. I have not a really good Megatron impersonation.
It's like a deep, throaty voice.
You are quite brave, little one. Better? Meh. Megatron walked over to Bee. He started circling him like a great white and stepping up to face me. Bee didn't move, but he kept looking forward. I know where I stand, Bee said. His beeps and rolls were very low. Megatron stopped in front of Bee after circling him. Bee finally looked up into his eyes. Is that so? Megatron smirked. And where would that be? Bee, get away from him, Optimus called. RC and Bulkhead started running towards Bee, but Arachnid and Breakdown quickly grabbed them and pinned them down. Aw, yeah. Bee turned around and softly chirped at his friends. He went to take a step towards them, but Megatron placed a hand on his shoulder. Bee jumped at the touch and turned on his heels, holding his guns up to Megatron. Megatron snatched his hand away and placed it on his hip, using his other hand to rub his chin as he thought. Megatron turned back to Optimus and walked back towards him. Finish him! Megatron snapped his fingers, and Soundwave powered up his guns. Optimus closed his eyes, and he felt Soundwave's gun to the back of his head. Bee ran right in front of Megatron and got down on his knees. Please, no! Bee grabbed hold of Megatron's hand. Bee turned to look at Optimus, who had his eyes open to look at Bee. Please, I'll do anything, Bee cried. Anything? Megatron repeated. Yes! Bee looked up at him. Oh god. Megatron waved his hand, and Soundwave pulled his gun away from Optimus' head. From Optimus' head. Optimus and the rest of his team will go free and unharmed if, Megatron paused and looked up when he heard Optimus growling, if you come with me as my prisoner. What the hell? No! Optimus yelled. He slipped from Soundwave's grip and was able to get up on his knees. Before Soundwave and Knockout got to their grip back, Bee looked over at him and stood back up. Deal! B looked down and covered his face with his hands. Megatron let out an evil laugh before grabbing B by the arm and holding him up in the air. This doesn't make any, what? Soundwave! Knockout! Break down, Megatron called. Let them sleep! Knockout reached into his side panel and pulled out his electro rod, going to each Autobot and stabbing them in the neck, forcing them into a status lock. Optimus fell forward and looked up at B, who was staring back at him. B, Optimus reached his hand out to him, but he was hit again with the rod, making him go into instant status lock. B beeped sadly and closed his eyes. Let's split, Knockout said as he...
You gotta do it more fabulously.
Let's split. Let's split. Let's split. Let's split.
There you go.
Knockout said as he put his electronic rod away. The Prime won't stay down long, he said with a hint of a smirk. Megatron simply nodded and threw B towards Breakdown, who easily caught him. B squirmed and tried to push away as Breakdown held him against his chest. Since he cannot fly, take him with you to where the loading tube to board the ship, Megatron said. He turned to Soundwave, and the other Decepticons nodded. They all transformed and took off, leaving Knockout and Breakdown with B. Breakdown dropped B, and he landed on his feet. Autobots never go back... No, wait, this is Breakdown. Autobots never go back on their word, and you will honor that. So don't try anything, kid. Breakdown pointed a finger at him. This is a terrible Breakdown impersonation, but I've never actually seen an episode with Breakdown in it, so...
Yeah, you have. Well, I guess he always said a couple words, but...
B looked down and nodded. Transform and stay behind Knockout. I will be right behind you. B nodded again. They all transformed and got into a line. No one talked during the ride. B could only guess that they were talking through their private comm links. And, tell you the truth, B was glad. He didn't want to talk to Decepticons. If it was up to him, he would ram right into Knockout, transform, and shoot them both. But like Breakdown said, Autobots are true to their word. And B would respect that, even if it meant being taken away from his home and family. At least Optimus was safe. That was the only good thing out of this whole thing. This is so stupid. Why would Megatron give up everything for Bumblebee? Second of all, why would Bumblebee stick to his word? Just, need a drink.
Well, Bumblebee would stick to his word because of honor, of course.
Whatever.
Whatever story. It's a good story. I cried during the end of it.
Alright. Give me a minute. I'm getting back to it. Soon Knockout slammed on his brakes and transformed. B and Breakdown did the same. Send it down, Knockout said, clearly speaking into his comlink to the great warship above them. B looked up at the giant ship as the yellow tube transport system came down and circled all three of them. The bottom slid shut and it began to take them up. B sighed and his shoulders dropped. He knew there was no way out now. But to his surprise, he felt his hand on his slumping shoulders. B turned his head to see it was Knockout's hand, and he gave B a kind smile, not an untrusting smirk, but a smile of kindness. Calm down, Knockout said with a very low voice. I know you may not trust us, or even like us. I wouldn't. Breakdown laughed. Knockout raised an optic at him, then turned back to B. Yes, but even Lord Megatron must show his respect and gratitude to someone like you. Oh God. Like me? B chirped. But before Knockout could reply, the tube opened and Megatron stood in front of them. B jumped, but was reassured by a hand patting his back. It was Knockout. Take the Autobot to the holding cells for the time being, Megatron said before walking away. Really? Megatron made the walk from the control room, which was in the front of the ship, to the back of the ship to tell Knockout and Breakdown something that he could have said over comlink. He probably just wanted to make sure that they still had B. Once Megatron was out of sight, Knockout turned to Breakdown and shrugged. Not very welcoming, is he? B joked, but he wondered if the comment would anger them, but Knockout seemed to chuckle lightly under his breath. Breakdown said nothing. He just turned and started walking down the hall. Can you handle that Autobot on your own? He asked as he walked, but clearly whatever Knockout's answer he was not coming back anyways. Anyway, Knockout crossed his arms and rolled his eyes. Come on, B. Why is everyone calling him B? I can't see Knockout saying B. I can't see Optimus Prime saying B. I definitely can't see Optimus Prime saying B. He would be like, Bumblebee.
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 No, Bumblebee. Knocked outside. Knocked outside. Side.
Wait. What?
Knock outside.
There
Knocked
you go.
outside. Knocked outside. Knocked outside. I got knocked outside. Knock outside and turned to walk down the other hall. B watched Breakdown leave for a minute before joining Knockout. What's wrong with your friend? B asked. Knockout sighed and looked over at B, who was now walking beside him. Knockout never thought in a million years he would be walking and talking with one of the Autobots' most loyal soldiers. Same went for B. He was asking a highly ranked Decepticon medic about his personal life. And even after Knockout had just taken him away from Optimus and the others. But for some reason, both bots felt a small trust between them. Maybe it was because B was not a threat now, and neither was Knockout. Or maybe it was B, knowing he was a prisoner of war, was trying to make a friend that he could talk to. Because, by the looks of it, B was going to be here for a long time. Or could it be their loyalty? B's loyalty lay to the Autobots, and always would, no matter what. But Knockout's loyalty could be questionable. He's been acting like that ever since Mech captured him. His only wish is to please Megatron again and earn back his respect, Knockout told B. And now he seems to think that the only thing that matters, so no more going off and goofing off with me. I'm sorry, B said slowly, thinking about it before he said it. Feeling sorry for a Khan was weird, something B was not used to. Knockout seemed surprised to hear that from him too. He looked away from B for a moment, but looked back at him with a straight face. Things change. Nothing stays the same for very long. Knockout raised one hand and flipped it around. One day you may understand. I do understand, actually. B looked forward. Knockout opened his mouth to say something, but was cut off by B, stopped in the middle of the hall and looked into Knockout's blood-red eyes. I have heard that my whole life, that things change one day. I will understand. But I already do. I was born right before the war broke out. I saw everyone around me change because of it. B looked down. B, I did not... I'm sorry. Knockout's words were very awkward to him and B. But B smiled before looking back up at him. Don't be, B said as he started walking again. Knockout sighed with a smile and joined B. They were quiet for a while. Knockout led B down some different halls. They came to a door that was the holding cell. Knockout looked over at B. Knockout couldn't help but notice how young he looked. He didn't just look young. He indeed was very young. Maybe 17 in human years, but that wasn't too young, since Knockout was about 25 in human years. Oh, God.
You really see where this is going, don't you?
Yes, I do see this.
Oh, have fun.
Oh, God. And even Knockout had to admit, B was very cute and absolutely beautiful. Yellow, especially B's bright yellow, was very rare in Autobots and Decepticons. His slender frame and his small build were also rare, and Knockout would be the one to know. He was very educated in that area. Knockout? B asked with one long beep. Knockout shook his head and realized that he and B were facing the door to the cell. Knockout looked over at B, who tilted his head and looked worriedly at him. Knockout reached forward and put in the code. When the door opened, B walked in and looked around. It was dark. The only light was from the barred window. Right under the window was a berth. The rest of the room was empty. With a sigh, B walked over to the berth and sat down. He looked out the window. It was just past sundown, and the thin light of the horizon shined in his eyes. Knockout sighed. He felt kind of bad for locking B up. B looked back at him and Knockout just stepped forward. B smiled, but then turned back to the window. B, Knockout stated. But he saw no point to keep talking when B just kept looking out the window. Knockout turned to leave, shutting the door behind him and locking it. That night was an uneasy night for everyone. Oh god.
Yeah, I forgot how long this one really was.
Knockout found it hard to recharge. He tossed and turned. He kept thinking of how B must feel right now. Knockout wondered if B had ever been away from his team before. Due to his age, it was not hard to believe that B may have been raised by Ratchet or Optimus or even the whole team. He had never been captured before, and to make things worse, it was Megatron himself that captured him. Knockout slammed his head, face down onto his his breath? I'm assuming that's birth.
Mm-hmm.
No sleep for him tonight. Bumblebee never even laid down. He stared out the window all night, watching the stars and the moon, wondering if Optimus was looking up at the moon too. B could almost feel the faint connection between him and Optimus as he stared at the full moon. And he was right. Optimus stood outside the base, staring up at the stars and moon, wondering how B was and if he was okay. His spark never ached this much. He never knew how much B meant to him till now. His spark called out to the youngling, but the moon was his only connection to B for the night. He rubbed his neck, his hands grazing over the sore wires from Knockout's electro rod. Optimus closed his eyes, and with a deep breath he sent out a strong, throbbing pulse of his spark, hoping that its message would somehow reach B. B felt his spark jolt and pull towards the window. He closed his eyes as he felt Optimus's warmth shatter around him. Optimus's message was loud and clear. I am here, and I will find you. Ew. Okay, that was okay. That was kind of adorable in a way, but oh god, I can see where this is going.
What time are we up to?
I'm going to call it here. It's 17 minutes in.
Oh, we still got 3 minutes. Let's review the first chapter.
All right, first chapter.
Besides spelling and grammatical errors.
Yeah, which that's not that big of a deal. I mean, it's a freaking fanfiction. What do you expect? You know, I mean, can't ask for perfection on that. And for the most part, I don't mind it as long as I can understand what they're saying. And for the most part, I did. What was your favorite part about that chapter?
Honestly, I'm not a big fan of the first chapter. It just kind of gets everything going. I mean, it's a good chapter, but I prefer later chapters when things really start to hit the fan.
Personally, I didn't like it much. I mean, it just seemed like the plot points were kind of, stupid. I mean, why would Megatron, let Optimus and everyone else go for Bumblebee?
See, that's the thing. He can do more damage to Optimus by hurting Bumblebee than he could ever do just killing him.
But he would get all the Autobots out of the way.
Not necessarily.
How many of the Autobots did he have?
He just had an Optimus pinned down.
It had Optimus pinned down, and then RC and Breakdown tried to get, or not Breakdown, but Bulkhead tried to intervene, and then they got brought down too.
Yeah, but if they hadn't,
so they had everyone except for Ratchet and Wheeljack, and Wheeljack was probably not there.
I don't know if Wheeljack's ever mentioned this. No, he's not even mentioned in this. This was
exactly. Okay, so all that would be left is Ratchet. Oh, jeez, nice job knocking over the mic. Sorry about that. I mean, he had every Autobot except for Ratchet, which, Ratchet's badass and all that, but still, I mean,
yeah.
Megatron can take Ratchet, so why would you give up everything when you could potentially rule the world without any resistance?
Because, think about it. If you had your mortal enemy in front of you, and you had the choice between a slow, torturous, hateful death and just killing him on the spot, which would you choose?
He could have had a slow, torturous, painful death.
No, because Megatron would have just killed him right then and there. But by taking Bumblebee, he can.
Why couldn't he have Optimus taken away as a prisoner and tortured him?
Because Bumblebee offered himself.
See, that doesn't make any sense.
Why are you trying to make sense of this?
Because it's a fan fiction, and you asked for my opinion, and I'm critical on some things like that.
Yes, but it's a fanfic. You don't try to make sense of it. You go along with it and see where it's gonna go.
You asked for my opinion, and it bothered me.
Yes.
Other than that, if you can get that out of the way, then yes, so far it's been okay.
Okay, it's a fanfiction. Do you think Megatron's really gonna kill Optimus in a fanfiction?
Yes.
I've read a shit ton of fanfiction where Megatron's had the upper hand against Optimus, and then some sort of magical MacGuffin will appear and basically ruin everything for Megatron, or make him forget about Optimus, or do something like that. The point is, even in fanfic, Megatron's never gonna kill Optimus unless some poor fangirl is feeling really sadistic and wants to torture Optimus to the point of death. Or you need a
still doesn't make sense.
Or you need a good plot device.
It
like
still doesn't make
die.
sense. It still doesn't make sense. It still doesn't make sense.
Okay.
And that's my thing that I don't like about it. Other than that, it's an okay fanfic first chapter. And hopefully it gets even more interesting.
I still don't understand what you're not getting about Bumblebee.
It doesn't fit the characters.
Yes, it does.
No.
I believe Megatron would be cocky enough to go,
no.
Oh, well,
no.
let's take Bumblebee prisoner instead of killing
Megatron's cocky,
Optimus.
but he's not dumb.
Yes, he's not dumb.
He's not that dumb.
He's not dumb.
He's not that dumb.
Oh my god. You know what? If he wanted, he could have killed Orion Pax by himself.
He wanted to convert him.
No, he just wanted the Iacon files. He's got sound waves to decode them. If he really, really wanted to, he could have killed Optimus Prime any given moment when he was Orion Pax. You know why? Because he wouldn't have done anything to fight back. So there's your plot. There you go.
Still.
He's stupid. I'm sorry,
Still.
Megatron is a dumbass. I think the only smart idea he ever had was splitting up his forces to go after those relics. And even then, why didn't he go after them himself?
Because he's the leader. Why would you? If you could have someone go out and get you ice cream, would you go and get yourself ice cream?
Well, most likely, because maybe they don't know the flavor I want. No, this has nothing to do with ice cream. Don't try to just put this on me. This is about Megatron being a dumbass because he doesn't get his ice cream. Relics. You know what I mean. And he yells at everybody else, oh, well, why didn't you bring the relic back? Oh, well, because we got jumped by Autobots and we weren't strong enough to fight against them.
Which is another stupid thing. Why didn't they why didn't they split more of their forces? Like, they're just like, oh, hey, we're just gonna send like 2 or 3 people, even though we have a fucking army.
Because Megatron's a dumbass?
Oh my god.
So it fixed his character that he would be stupid enough to leave Optimus alive and take Bumblebee prisoner.
It still doesn't make sense.
How does it not make sense?
It doesn't fit the character. I cannot see Megatron willingly give up Optimus for Bumblebee.
Okay. It's a fanfic.
Yes, and a fanfiction, the characters should stay to their original true characters, unless it's something very minor.
Oh, right. The characters should stay to their characters. So you're saying that Knockout was out of character. Because I don't believe Knockout would become friends with Bumblebee.
I don't know. I could see it. Maybe.
What?
Maybe.
What?
Maybe.
The sadistic medic who experiments on Autobots and likes to chop people up and hates to have his paint job messed up in any way is going to make friends with an Autobot.
Maybe. You never know. Okay, most part stick to their character. Because let's face it, almost any decent fanfic has, something different. Because if you wanted just to see a character, you could just watch the show.
Then why are you complaining about Megatron if you're not going to complain?
Because it's just complete opposite of what he would do.
Well, that's complete opposite of what Knockout would do. So you're being a hypocrite and saying that you're not against Knockout becoming friends with Bumblebee, but you're against Megatron taking Bumblebee prisoner over killing Optimus.
It's not as big of a scale.
Oh, yes, it is.
Becoming a friend with an Autobot is not as big as destroying your entire enemy's forces.
Yeah, it is. It's about as much of a devastating character.
We're talking
change.
way too long about this, but it's very.
Right.
I bet it's entertaining though. So
I
we'll
bet
keep
it
doing
is entertaining. But you're trying to say that Knockout would become friends with an Autobot, even though there's been several instances where he's wanted to kill Bumblebee. In fact, he didn't know what the relic was when they found it in that one episode, and he wanted to test it on Bumblebee. So you're saying that he would want to be friends with somebody he's trying to kill?
In a different situation, maybe. On a neutral plane where they weren't fighting.
He'd still try to kill Bumblebee.
Man, you really have a sadistic look on him, man. Maybe he's a class. I mean, he has class. You know? And
no, he would see Bumblebee as a racing threat, or a threat to his paint job, and he would cut that bitch up.
Or he would think of it as something to plow.
What?
Let's face it, Knockout wants to fuck Bumblebee right now, right?
Who doesn't want to fuck Bumblebee?
I don't want to fuck Bumblebee.
Well, I want to fuck Bumblebee.
Well, that's nice, you weirdo. But let's face it, maybe he's just doing that to get in his panties. Because they don't wear pants.
But that would not be going to the character.
You don't think Knockout would want to fuck Bumblebee?
No. Not in the show. And if what you're saying is true, that the characters even have to stick to their own.
You mean to tell me that Knockout, a sadistic fucker, would not take pleasure in corrupting and fucking the living hell out of Bumblebee?
How do we know Knockout's gay? Maybe he's got a thing for RC. I mean, he did try to kill her first.
There's only 2 fucking females! It doesn't matter!
It matters a lot.
No, it doesn't! They're fucking robots! You've been trying to tell me this for so many months. Saying it's okay for Transformers yaoi. It's not a bad thing, because there's no women and they're just robots. It's not really gay, because whatever, and blah, 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 blah. And now that I'm finally agreeing with you, you're like, no, he's not gay!
I didn't say he wasn't gay, I said, what if? There's always the possibility.
They're fucking robots! Who cares?
Oh, back to the subject matter at hand. I am not going to quit this conversation until you realize that Megatron is a dumbass.
Wouldn't it be possible? Let's face it, okay? Knockout and Bumblebee have always had a competition, right? Because they're both fast and they're both kind of racing cars, right?
Yeah.
Right. Okay. Now, wouldn't Megatron find pleasure in seducing and raping Optimus and basically making Optimus his bitch?
Not if he could use Bumblebee against him and end up hurting Optimus.
All I'm saying is don't you think that Knockout would possibly,
Okay, let's use a scenario. Let's say I got brainwashed by an evil person and they used me against you. Wouldn't that hurt you more than actually being hurt yourself?
Yes.
Oh, there you go.
But, thinking in the long term here, okay, what is Megatron's goal?
To hurt Optimus as much as possible.
Really, Megatron's main goal is to hurt Optimus as much as possible. That's what you're
Are you talking about taking over the world goal? Are you talking about the killing Optimus goal? Or are you talking about just his Saturday goal when he mows the lawn and repaints the ship? Plays catch with all the Viacons.
That's silly.
Oh my.
Wow, this is going on for way too long. We haven't even talked about the damn thing for we are talking about it right now, but we haven't actually read anything for the last 10 minutes.
Yeah, but
I'm just saying. I could see Knockout trying to be nice to Bumblebee in order to fuck him later. Or frag him, in your words.
Well,
And that's why I'm okay with that, but I'm still not okay with Megatron doing that.
I think your opinion of Megatron capturing B rather than killing Optimus will change in later chapters.
If it does, then it does, but for right now, it won't. So, anyway, oh god, it's 30 minutes. We have been talking for 10 minutes about this. Oh god. Alright, so for anyone still watching, which if you do, I applaud you. Good job. You're a pro.
You win the achievement for most life wasted.
Yeah. Sorry, we can't give you those 10 minutes back. I'm Axelsims. This
And
is
I'm
secondary
character.
also known as Severus the Hedgehog. And
We're gonna get some sleep.
Yeah, this is once again. This is Prisoner of War by Princess of Queens on DeviantArt. We'll be finishing this later. Stay tuned.
Finishing, we mean we'll never read another chapter again.
Probably not. That we probably will read another chapter.
Yeah.
Yeah. Did you ask her if it was okay if we read this?
Not exactly.
Maybe you think you should do that.
I think she'll be okay with it.
Are you sure?
No, but I think she'll be excited about it, maybe, hopefully. Please don't kill me, POQ.
Pock?
Pock.
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 We're gonna have to edit so much out.
No, we're not editing any of this.
Oh, no, we have to edit some out.
What?
We have to edit the part where I say we have to edit stuff out.
Yeah. Anyway, like, comment, subscribe, brohoof.
Wait, you're not gonna edit this out, are you?
Nope. And, have a nice night.